I don't like to give advice. That might seem strange with the videos that I make, but what I've noticed is when it comes to advice, it's a little tricky. Now, if you are skilled in some area and people are asking you for advice, that's perfectly okay. Or as my job, I teach English, I give advice on that, that's okay. When it comes to spiritual matters, when it comes to living or how to live life, it's very different. I used to love telling people what to do. But as I went on this spiritual journey, what I started to notice was the effect that it had on me. When I had deep philosophical conversations with people, I would get sick afterwards. And I mean, physically sick. I would have a fever. And either the rest of the day I would feel bad. I think usually the next day I'd be okay physically. Mentally, I'm wiped out for a week. And mentally, my mind was like a fog where I couldn't even. I mean, if I opened up a philosophical book, it would just be noise. And I started to notice that. Why was that? Okay, so it's when I get into deep topics? No. It's when I'm telling people what to think. What it was the ego. I was getting sick from a powerful expression of ego. And why this never happened to me before, I would say it is like I was always sick or constantly doing the ego or the ego's bidding. And so perhaps there was a tolerance to it. And so as I went further in the spiritual journey, the ego was being, I don't know, used, coming up less, so that when it came up with a vengeance. And physically, I couldn't handle it. It took a while to really see this for what it is. And when it did, it also became useful, where I know I'm going to meet this person, I'm going to have a philosophical talk. Pay attention to how I feel. If I start feeling like the heart rate is going up, and I noticed that in these conversations where I'd be weak afterwards, my heart was going up. It was fight or flight because I was defending myself. So if I have a conversation where I'm start doing that, I would stop. Now, this has gone away. I've had less philosophical talks recently, but I have had some, and I don't have that, let's say, hangover afterwards. So it's showing that I'm doing something correct. But I have noticed there were a couple videos that I made that I had that feeling, a kind of a sick feeling in my stomach. And of course, I never released those videos. And I noticed, why is that? I'm giving advice. I'm telling people what to do. Okay, well, the thing is, when I look at things like I've talked about worry or I talked about anger, I think these are helpful things for people to notice. So if I'm not giving advice, what exactly am I doing? What should I do? Now, what I've noticed in my life is that giving advice when someone doesn't ask for it, this is perhaps very obvious, doesn't work. Instead, what works is leading by example or embodying the truth of whatever that message is. So when I make these videos, it's something that I cannot really give advice. Instead, I just say what my experience is, what I've learned. The truth of that will come out. And if it resonates with someone, then it's not necessary for me to say you should. What I say will have an impact. If what I'm saying is of the ego and shallow, then it will also have that impact, which will be nothing. People will watch it and won't resonate with anyone. Now, I think there are people who can be very, very shallow and still are very good at talking to other people and expressing their ideas. I cannot, which is good. I mean, I have that ingrained alarm system that will just make me sick if I do that. So, these videos are not to be taken as advice. They're to be watched, and if what I'm saying resonates with the person, then that will manifest in some way. A person will think about something else and perhaps do something differently. And that is the most natural way for that to play out. So, if you're watching this video, I hope you enjoy these videos, and I hope that what I say does resonate and can be useful. Thank you.